Hello. This is WALTURBO checking in with a completely unprecedented unboxing with a 100% unique item. I might call it a what if one. So, why don't you join me as we go turbo mode?
Let's get started. What we have today is an incredibly rare replica, a pistol by KWA. This was an exceptional production run of the H&K MK23 US SOCOM variant match-grade pistol. This large frame pistol's real steel counterpart was originally developed in the 1990s and had a production run until 2010. Chambered in .45 ACP, Heckler & Koch beat cold out of the contract when the US SOCOM forces asked for a pistol that was durable, rugged, waterproof, and compact for their CQC needs. The SOCOM variant of the Mark 23 was originally outfitted with a laser sight and suppressor provided by Knight's Armament. Although the Mark 23 started in the holsters of the SOCOM forces, it became wildly popular and went on to have multiple other variants made. It features an ambidextrous mag release at the back of the trigger guard, an ambidextrous safety, as well as a non-ambidextrous trigger decocker. The KWA release of the HK MK23 is highly sought after due to the fact that it was only produced for about 2 years. After the pistol began to gain popularity in the public sphere, KWA capitalized upon this fact and began to produce this replica. When H&K finally ended its production run, it effectively canceled KWA's production run as well. When KWA first released the MK23, it was priced at $189.95 US MSRP. It is still possible to find the Mark 23 on resale sites for anywhere between $150 to upwards of $200. Many of these replicas have known issues. You can still find magazines on eVic for a whopping $49.99 a pop. And parts are still available if you're a human that knows how to make a Google search. However, many of these parts are distributed by Asian retailers and websites, meaning that there will be an incredible premium to get the parts to you. In the same vein, you can still find brand new MK23s from some of these retailers, but by the time you've paid nearly 100% the cost of the replica to get it to you, you'd be better off buying two of another platform. Aside from the short production run, what makes KWA's release of the MK23 so popular is its blowback functionality. Other brands such as Tokyo Marui and Nobrich do make versions of the MK23. However, they do not feature a blowback slide. They focused on efficiency over fashion. KWA did not have to make that choice. Their release of the MK23 clocks in anywhere between 360 to 380 FPS, weighs approximately 1,160 grams, has an inner barrel length of 130 millimeters, 16 millimeter positive threads on the front, and features an adjustable hop-up unit. You've heard the facts, now it's time for my review. I've run the Mark 23 as my main sidearm for right at a year now. I only picked it up a little bit before then in a lucky bid on a lucky lot on eBay, including this, a 5.1 high kappa, a WeTech XDM, and another KWA Chris Vector to add to my collection. I got all four of these airsoft guns for the price of really what the KWA Chris Vector goes for by itself, so all of the pistols could have turned out to be lemons and I still would have been happy with the deal that I made. Nevertheless, on my lucky streak, all I had to do was replace the cup seal behind this nozzle, and this pistol was fully operational. It's in pretty good shape. Other than some scoring on the front of the slide, the outer barrel being broken off at the threads, or perhaps in the same occurrence, ground off on the concrete, I had to shim this screw because it wasn't allowing the nozzle to fully cycle. Of course, replace the cup seal, and then the magazine, the base plate, has been cracked. But other than the cup seal, this thing was ready to go shooting after that was replaced. This thing's fun. A treat to use as a sidearm. There's a lot that I could say, some that I'm going to say, but if I could reduce it all down to one word, reliable. For this being an over 10-year-old pistol, all I've had to do since receiving it is replace the cup seal. I've put it through its paces, and I've had zero downtime associated with this replica. Of course, I clean and maintain it like the rest, regularly. However, that's besides the point. The bones of the KWA Mark 23 are good. It's large. It looks like a Desert Eagle and a USP-45 had a child. It's unique though. Like a familiar face, you kind of know what it is, but you just can't quite put your finger on it. I like the fact that not a lot of people have one of these. Yes, it's large. It barely fits inside of my Condor drop leg holster, but it fits. That large frame allows for a lengthy inner barrel that allows for accuracy at range, and then KWA backed that up with a hop-up unit that they engineered, sending .25s at 50, sometimes 60 yards deep at accuracy. Its performance cannot be called into question. And its size is offset by its ambi features. Between the safety and the magazine release, I don't find myself fiddling around the edges for anything that I don't have already at my fingertips. And although the hammer decocker is interesting, I don't find it problematic that it is not ambidextrous. I do not have any problems getting tucked up on this pistol for whenever he's gone. What I do have problems with are this thing here. Double stack, metal feed lips, booty juice fed. Allow me to elaborate. If you've ever had a GBB that has double stack magazines and you only have one, and you run out of ammo mid-game, there are only two scenarios that can take place. One, you die, or two, you run. Because Lord knows you're going to have to run to the back, get up into a corner, open up that speed loader, pull that magazine follower down, make sure none of them BBs get out of alignment in the process of that, then blink, 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 rock back and forth trying to get them to line up correctly, take the back of your speed loader, rub it up and down in there trying to get them to line up correctly, put that magazine back up, and hey, 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 ho, we are ready to go. But, oh wait, hey, we forgot our booty juice. We got to get that out and... Okay, now, we are ready to go. It's just not convenient. I understand that if we didn't make this double stack, we would only be fitting anywhere between 14 to 18 BBs max in this space. However, it is just problematic, and I believe it is our downfall. The metal feed lips with a plastic nozzle. Dear viewer, I will allow you to tell me what the problem here is and which material will fail first. Although it hasn't given me an issue yet. And finally, booty juice fed. I am so happy that KWA did not cut corners and make this a non-blowback replica. It feels great. There's a tactile, crisp response every trigger pull. However, there is a lot of recoiling mass here that takes a lot of booty juice to propel. Everywhere you go, you will be smelled. So, what are the solutions to these problems that I have just laid out? I believe two could probably be solved with new magazines. Maybe not the feed lips issue, but I don't want to create a problem out of nothing. But you could definitely buy one or two more magazines and not have to worry about reloading mid-game. But you'd still be running on booty juice. I wonder what the solution could be. At the start of this video, I mentioned that this product is a one of one. That was true for a time. 8 weeks ago, I sent my Mark 23 into TAP so that they could create a custom magazine adapter that did not exist for this replica before then. This adapter is now available to the general public on their website. TAP enjoys growing their magazine database so that they can include more players on more platforms. They keep all essential information like the shape of the magazine, where the gaskets are placed and the angle, feed lip shape, but double stack feed lips, problematic base plates, under 30 rounds in a mag, these are all problems of the past. They have enabled you with nearly max ammo and not having to sniff nasty propane anymore. You will be using their patented Tapnology. It fits perfectly into the Mark 23, This particular TAP magazine is outfitted with an M4 style magwell that is interchangeable to many other styles that you can find on their website, including drums and shotgun shell adapters. After we hook this up to the HPA, get this out of here, we're ready to go tap some domes.